Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to Carbohydrates. What are the organic chemical groups that characterize carbohydrates? How are the carbohydrates classified according to the presence of these groups? Carbohydrates are also known as sugars. We have starch, cellulose, and other substances are carbohydrates too. Carbohydrates are polyhydroxylated aldehydes or polyhydroxylated ketones. We have, like, for example, polyalcohol aldehydes, polyalcohol ketones. Polyhydroxylated aldehydes are called aldose, and polyhydroxylated ketones are called ketoses. What is the main formula, molecular formula of glucose? How can its structure formula be described? The molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Structurally, glucose is a hexagonal ring, and it is formed by 1 atom of oxygen and 5 atoms of carbon. A hydroxyl radical and hydrogen atom bind to each carbon of the ring, except on one of the carbons bound to the oxygen of the ring. This carbon binds to the CH2OH radical. Spatial sides of hydroxyl bound are alternated. What are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides? Monosaccharides, these are simple molecules of carbohydrates that cannot be broken into smaller molecules of other carbohydrates. Oligosaccharides, they are carbohydrates made by union of maximum of 10 monosaccharides. Polysaccharides are polymers of monosaccharides made of more than 10 units of such monomers. The most important polysaccharides are cellulose, starch, glucose, glycogen, and chitin. What is the difference between monosaccharides and disaccharides? What are some examples of disaccharides and of monosaccharides that form them? Monosaccharides, they are simple molecules of carbohydrates that cannot be broken into other carbohydrates. For example, glucose and fructose are examples of monosaccharides. Whereas disaccharides, these are carbohydrates made up of two monosaccharides and with the loss of one molecule of water, dehydration. The chemical bond between the two monosaccharides is known as glycosidic bond. Sucrose, or the one that we take as sugar, table sugar, is a disaccharide. It's made by union of one molecule of glucose with one molecule of fructose. Maltose is also a disaccharide. It is made by two glucose molecules. Lactose, which is a milk sugar, is also another disaccharide, and it is created by a union of one molecule of galactose and one molecule of glucose. What are hexoses? What are some examples of hexoses with important biological functions? Hexoses, they are carbohydrates and they are made up of 6 carbons. We have glucose, fructose, and galactose. These are examples of hexoses. Hexoses are important biological role as energy source for the metabolism. What are pentoses? What are the roles of pentoses in DNA and RNA molecules? Pentoses, they are carbohydrates and made of 5 carbons. The DNA molecule is made of sequence of molecules called nucleotides. And each nucleotide is formed by the association of one pentose called deoxyribose with a phosphoric acid and a nitrogen containing base, which can be adenine, thymine, cytosine, or guanine. RNA is formed by a sequence of nucleotides. RNA nucleotides are made by association of one ribose, a pentose, with one phosphoric acid and one nitrogen containing base, which can be adenine, uracil, cytosine, or guanine. Some pentoses are fundamental components of DNA and RNA. What are the main biological functions of the polysaccharides? The polysaccharides have an energy storage function and structure function. Polysaccharides incorporated by living beings along the food chain are important source of carbohydrate for the energetic metabolism of organisms of the next trophic levels. Starch is a polysaccharide used for energy store by plants. Glycogen is a macromolecule and it is responsible for the storage of glucose in the liver and the muscles. Chitin is also a polysaccharide with a structure function that constitutes the exoskeleton of arthropods and the cell wall in fungi. Thank you very much for participating in carbohydrates. Please do like, share, and subscribe.